Welcome to Three Men and a Whiskey. This is Peter, and I've got the pleasure of bringing you this year our picks for the top 5 gifts that you might want to give to your whiskey friends and family. Some of these gifts I've picked for the whiskey agnostic. Some of these I've picked for those that are really into their whiskey. So let's take a look. There's still some time to get them before Christmas. Number 1 is the Kori whiskey glass. I'll put it up on the screen. Kori whiskey glass is a company that basically does some different designs for your favourite tipple. There's all sorts here. They seem to be inspired by mountain ranges in Japan, natural features, that kind of thing. There's some good stuff here. There's some very kind of retro looking in a way. The way some of these are cut remind me of whiskey glasses my dad had in the 80s, you know. So there's gift sets as well. You get not just the whiskey glasses, you might get some coasters and other things that to go with it. I mean, you want to feel like a secret agent when you're drinking your favourite tipple, don't you? So I think there's a danger that someone who really likes whiskey has already got a bunch of glasses, but you can never do without some luxury, I'd say. So yeah, definitely. Now, if you're not sure whether this is legit or not, I've been on the site and there are some reviews on here and there's some positive feedback. So I would say, yeah, why get a Christmas mug when you can get a Christmas whiskey glass? So my number 1 recommendation is the Kori whiskey glass. Our second pick is for whiskey liqueurs. Now, you might have a nan, granddad, family member or friend who has their annual Baileys at Christmas. It might be the only time they drink, really. Or it might be a year-long thing. I say push it a bit further. Your family might not really like single malt whiskey or blended whiskey, but I think there's no harm in showing them the door to whiskey pleasure. So the one I go for quite regularly as my day-to-day drink is one that you older enthusiasts will probably know about already. It's Shanky's Whip. Shanky's Whip is a good one. It's I'll read it to you if you've never heard of it. It's a black liqueur whipped together with Irish spirits, Irish whiskey, cream flavour and caramel. Try it on the rocks or with a good mixer. You know, it is something else, really. So I've got some in the glass here. Oh yeah, it really hits the spot. Shanky's Whip. It kind of keeps going, and it still has the creaminess that you'd associate with something like Baileys, but it's got a bit more of a hit to it, and it's a lot sweeter. The caramel is something quite interesting. I'd say if caramel's not your thing and you want to try a different whiskey liqueur, I'd say go for Arran Gold. Arran Gold you get from good whiskey stockists. Arran Gold is probably the first whiskey liqueur I tried, and it's that hits the spot. And the clue's in the name, gold, you know, like gold standard. So if you want something that's not single malt whiskey, but approaching it, then we would recommend whiskey liqueurs. Number three is a bit of an off-the-wall suggestion here, but it's got some crossover appeal. So are you someone that likes whiskey and you like board games? If you are, chances are you might already know about this, but if not, it's a good opportunity to broaden your horizons. So my third pick is for the Distilled board game by Patterson Games. Distilled is a beefy game, big box. So it's not like for your typical Monopoly or Cluedo types. Cluedo, who drank my whiskey? Probably me. But what's so interesting about it, put it on the screen, what's so interesting about it is that in this game you are the head of a distillery. So you want to make whiskey or vodka, or gin, or something crazy like that. And what you do is every turn you get ingredients, you mix them all together, following a basic principle, and then you make your spirit. But the thing is, there's a chance that your spirit's going to come out as hooch, really. It's going to come out as hooch. It's going to come out as something barely drinkable. And it all depends on the quality of the ingredients you put in and the cards you put in, because it's got this unique shuffling mechanic and a bit of a random element to what you make. Which is good, because if you're not doing very well at the game, you still get to sell something, and you still get to participate and possibly catch up. If you did well, you've made a really, really nice spirit that you can sell to market. It's got elements in it to do with like the flavour profiles, how you make them. It's got marketing. You also hire staff. You get different equipment, so you might get different whiskey stills and different things that help you peat your whiskey and add more flavour and that kind of thing. There's a set number of rounds, as memory serves me right, and you're just working through it. Now, like I said, it is slightly more complex than some of the other board games you might be used to, but for someone who's into board games, I'd say it's worth giving it a go. If you're also into whiskey, I've had a good time with it. I'm looking forward to playing it again over Christmas. So my number 3 is the Distilled board game. Number 4. Now, number 4 is one that we put our heads together to come up with, and we've actually decided on, maybe if you've got deep pockets, you know, your pockets go low, then a whiskey subscription might be a good idea. Now, the whiskey subscription we kind of settled on. Now, let's have a look. So the one we wanted to recommend, and that's not to say there's not other fantastic ones as well, is the Summerton Whisky Club. The reason is, I mean, they've just put their price up to close to £60 per delivery. But the reason is because basically when you buy the whiskey, when you join the subscription, it's like getting a whiskey at that price anyway. Most of the whiskies they send out are at price, slightly lower, slightly higher, and they're usually something a bit different. You might have your staples that you go to, that you might get from the supermarket or your favourite whiskey retailer, but these ones are slightly different to extend your range somewhat. Also, you get other member benefits, like you get to join the discussion group. You could get some special prices on their club for club members. We've not tried that yet, but that's apparently a thing. And there are exclusive whiskey club events and tastings throughout the year which you can attend if you're not doing too many already. So what happens is you pay for each delivery, and the delivery is 1 month, and then there's a gap, and then it's a second month. So it's not as intensive as it could be, but you know, you got some spare cash around and you really, really love this person and they really love their whiskey and you want to bring that love together, then Summerton Whisky Club is a good pick for number 4. So number 5, the last but not least of the whiskey suggestions that I've been looking at, is something I've been looking at myself. So this is called like a Whisky Scenting Kit. You can get different ones. So a Whisky Scenting Kit is basically, it's for a whiskey enthusiast, this one. So I've done some spirits courses before, spirit production with WSET, and this would have been really helpful back at the time. So what it is, you get a bunch of containers with the common whiskey scents, whiskey aromas, and what it is, this one here, this is the most expensive one I've found, but probably the best. Lenezduwhisky. Apologies for my French there. It's got 54 of the most commonly detected scents in whiskies. So what you do is you can train yourself up to smell these scents, so that when you do your next tasting session, when you're talking about whiskey with someone else, you can put a bit more of a sparkle on your description. People will be blown away by your prowess, and you'll get invited to every hip event happening in your town. The one I described here is being sold at Master of Malt for $275. I'm sure you can probably get it direct somewhere, but if that's a bit outside of your price range, there's also a kit kits from the Aroma Academy. The Aroma Academy seem to have different kits with different amounts in. I think it's between 12 and 24, but also a bourbon aroma kit, which is a massive gap in my knowledge. So something like that would be great. You get a book with it. They call it the Aroma Academy, so it's like going to school but without all the nuggies and bullying. So I would say, yeah, this is a good gift. I'd probably pick one up myself if I can find the cash for it. So like I said, you get this from Master and Malt, but you get it from a few other places as well, I have no doubt. So our pick for number 5 is the Whisky Aroma, the Scenting Kit. And that's it for us, really. So that's the 5 gifts that we recommend for your loved others at Christmas time who are into their whiskey, or maybe not so much. Stick around. If you like our content, please like and subscribe. We're on YouTube. Also, we've got content out at the moment. We've got Nige doing his 12 Days of Whiskey Christmas, where he pairs a Christmas movie to a whiskey. Interesting debate to be had there, and I'm sure we'll all get around to doing it at some point, but worth having a look. There might be some surprises on there you might not have heard of in terms of whiskey and Christmas, so yeah, have a look at that. And JD is doing his 12 beers of Christmas on our social media all across, so you can see what he's drinking when he's not drinking whiskey. So yeah, thank you very much and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.